Hello everybody and welcome back to Bandwagon Sports. As you can see, we are not where we left off last time, and that is because in the recording session, some of the files corrupted, so I couldn't put the video together, but I am going to do a recap here. It should be 5 to 10 minutes long, just going over all the draft picks, all the decisions that I made, and also retirement. So that'll hopefully catch us up pretty well. So without further ado, let's hop into today's episode. So starting with the retirement phase, the real only important player that retired for us was Mikko Koivu, and he wasn't on our team, but Mikko Koivu was a longtime member of the Minnesota Wild. He served as the captain for quite a bit as well, and overall he was just an excellent player for the Wild. I did decide to retire his number here in Minnesota, just to honor him and, forever hold him in the hearts of Minnesota Wild fans. So thank you, Mikko, for your service. Also, a few more notable players that retired. Joe Pavelski retired. Duncan Keith retired. David Krejci retired. There's Joe Pavelski, and that's really all for the retirements. It wasn't really a huge amount of important retirements. Oh, also Ryan Getzlaf retired. So that is really it for retirements, and now I will do the draft recap. So here is the draft recap. As you can see, the Carolina Hurricanes took Sebastian Proulx with the first overall pick. He is a high elite. Barrasso went second overall to the Golden Knights. He is also high elite. Third overall was Matvei Michkov to the Nashville Predators, also high elite. And 4 was Yurtikov, 69 overall, high elite. And then it starts to really drop off. And with our first pick in the draft, I decided to go with Ray McCullen, a left-handed shot defensive defenseman from Canada, and he is a poor top 4 potential, but at the 28 overall spot, to get a guy who's, 61 overall and has a chance to make an NHL impact one day, this was a fine pick for me. I had no real issues with drafting McCullen, and also our left-handed shot defenseman. We have no prospects for that side, so I decided to pick one up here with a late first-round pick. And yeah, with our second pick in the draft, 51st overall, I drafted Peter Kron from the Czech Republic. You can see he is an elite minor potential, 6'5", 215, and he is a right wing. We don't really have a lot of great right wing prospects, so I made a couple right wing selections in this draft. Just really the blue potential intrigued me with Peter Kron, so I took a chance, and we didn't really hit, but, he can still potentially turn into something for us. And at this point in time, I'm not too sure about this pick. With our third round pick, I drafted Peter Eriksson, who is another right winger, 6', 182. He has low fourth line potential, and he was pretty good for Sweden in the World Juniors, which is why I drafted him. See if he was maybe a low top 9 or a low top 6. But he is still 64 overall, decent looking player, and I think he can probably make an NHL impact one day. So not a bad pick by any means necessary, but also not a great one. We did end up trading our 4th round pick earlier in the season, so with our 5th round pick, I decided to take a goaltender, Borje Sundberg, and he is 5'10", 172, medium low star potential, 51 overall, and overall I just wanted to take a goalie, and Sundberg looked good with medium potential, high injury resistance, high discipline, so we'll see if he can make it to the NHL one day, make an impact for us, but overall not a bad pick in the 5th round. With our 6th round pick, I decided to go right-handed defenseman Adam Reifler from Switzerland. He looked pretty good with the ratings, and overall this was a pretty big miss. He is low minor potential, 50 overall, and doesn't really look like he's going to do much as an offensive defenseman for us. I mean, he could prove me wrong, but at this point in time, he is not looking like a great prospect, so this is one to forget, and let's move on to our last pick of the draft. And here with our last pick of the draft in the 7th round, I decided to go with another goaltender, and this one was Poul Morgensen from Latvia or Denmark. I don't know exactly what that flag is, but he is medium depth potential, 63 overall, which I like, but just another guy who doesn't really look like he's going to turn out to be anything. I mean, he could turn out to be an AHL goalie for us one day, I don't really know exactly, but the 63 overall is good enough for me at this point in time, so I'm not totally giving up hope on Morganson quite yet. So let's get on with the contract. So there are a few good players up for contract this year, including Jean-Gabriel Pageau and Matthew Dumba, Denis Gurianov, just to name a few of the players. And as you can see, I did sign Dumba to a 6-year, $6 million contract. I think he was well deserving of that, but as you can also see, I did not bring back Jean-Gabriel Pageau, mainly because Pageau wanted like 5 years at $7.5 million, and for a second-line player, I wasn't totally willing to give that up, so I decided to let him go to the free agent market, see if he wanted any less money, just, you know, see if we can get a little bit of a discount, and if not, hopefully find a guy who we can replace Pageau with. So I did sign Dumba. I did sign Gurianov to a new deal as well. Going down the list, there's also another player who I let go of, and that was goaltender Adam Lintner, who we drafted in the first year. Prospect goaltender for us, but he really just wasn't putting up good numbers in the AHL, like below 900 save percentage, and he wasn't really growing, so I decided to get rid of Lintner, and I decided to instead sign rookie goaltender Ron Dupierre out of Canada. He has low starter potential, 70 overall, and overall he's a guy who I'm going to potentially be running as the starter in the AHL, but he will definitely be playing games this year in the AHL, whether that is as a starter or a backup. And I have not done any free agency stuff, so if you guys want to give me some feedback down below who you want me to sign once I get to the free agency list, then please go ahead and do that. But overall, pretty quiet free agency for us. I didn't really do too much. The only big moves were me getting rid of Adam Lintner, actually AHL starting netminder Spencer Martin as well. I'm totally revamping the AHL goaltender duo, and I also got rid of Jean-Gabriel Pageau. So that is it. Now let's go take a look at the free agents. Yeah, so Pageau actually lowered his years. He wants 3 years now, but he still wants $7.3 million, and I'm just not prepared to give that to him. He is a very solid player for us, and he was really good, 54 points in 82 games, and in the playoffs, 8 points in 14 games, but overall, overall, I don't really think he's going to be any more than a good second-line player for us, and if another team wants to offer him that money, then I am more than willing to give him up. I'm also going to show Lintner and Martin just to tell you why I gave them up, so let me go do that now. So the next player who I let go of was goaltender Spencer Martin, and he's been okay for us in the AHL. His first 2 years were very good, but that's because I had the scoring much lower than it is. I accidentally had that. This year he had 40 wins for us in 48 games played, but the save percentage just wasn't there. Only a .905 save percentage. The goals against average and win numbers are very stacked and padded, so I decided to get rid of Spencer Martin mainly because I think we can get a better goalie for the AHL, and that's just about it. And finally, here is Adam Lintner, Czech Republic-born goaltender, 21 years old, 66 overall. He is growing 1 overall a season. I just don't think he's good enough. In 25 games played this year, he had 19 wins, but only an .892 save percentage, which is better than his previous 2 years. But it's just still not good enough, and I feel like Ron Dupierre is the goaltender I want to be running with. I want to develop guys who are going to grow, and I definitely do wish Adam Lintner the best in his hockey career, but he's just not the fit for us. So thank you, Adam Lintner, for your service, and I'm sorry that it had to come this way. And finally, this is the list of free agents. So you can see there's some pretty big names, but some ideas that I was, having for guys we could sign was potentially James Van Riemsdyk. He wants a lot less than Pageau, $5.5 million. He only did have 48 points, but 33 goals last year. The only issue with me and Van Riemsdyk is he's 34 years old. I think he's most likely going to drop in overall to maybe an 84 or 83 overall, which would not be beneficial to us. So I'm really on the edge with Van Riemsdyk, but if you guys want me to bring him in, then I definitely will. You just need to leave a comment down below. but I'm just really not sure because of that age. So that is the first player I wanted to bring in. The other one who I'm really considering is Mikhail Krizov, who is a right winger from the Czech Republic, 5'8", left-handed shooter, 86 overall. He is also a two-way player despite his sniper player trait. You can see 86 offense, 86 defense, which is definitely a two-way looking player. And I think that Mikhail Krizov could come in and take Pajot's place and also give us an upgrade on Pajot. And as you can see, he is also 2 years younger, and he wants about the same money. So I'm totally open to bringing in Mikhail Krizov for maybe not 5 years, but maybe 2 or 3 seasons, see how that works out for us. And the final player who I was really considering is Keandre Miller, who is a big offensive defenseman. The Rangers have him as an RFA, and he just came off of a 60-point rookie campaign, which means I think he's going to grow a lot. So if I, for instance, wanted to send him an offer, like, what would it take for that? A second-round pick. So is it worth a second-round pick to get a guy who can put up 65 to 70 points and could be a number 1 defenseman for us? I think it could be very worth it for us. So I'm like 95% sure I'm probably going to go after Keandre Miller. But you guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. And that is the free agents for this year. So that is basically the off-season recap for the retirement, the draft, the re-sign phase, and what I'm really thinking here going into free agency. So again, I am really sorry about what happened with the recording, but honestly, it was out of my control. I reinstalled my video editor and my screen recorder just in case it was an issue with one of those. And hopefully we don't have that issue again. So thank you all so much for watching. I know this isn't really the optimized way of watching a video like this, but it's the best that I can do for you. I just didn't want to leave you guys on a cliffhanger. I at least wanted to do a recap like this. So thank you all so much for the support. Just thank you for bearing with me through this video. And next time, I will hopefully see you in the free agency phase, and hopefully we can make some big signings and win a championship next season. So anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.